I've spent over 1,000 hours studying the stock market in this year alone. In this video, I want to share with you some of the $1 million wisdom that I have learned so far. And you might be wondering, KJ, why would anyone want to spend 1,000 hours in 1 year studying the stock market? Well, that is because I want to trade my 25K account into $1 million. And maybe you think that that's not even possible. And I hear you, because I thought the exact same thing before I ran across these three guys. Christian Kwalmagi turned $3,000 into over $100 million within 10 years using his own money. Pradeep Bond also made tens of millions of dollars from the stock market, and his teachings have helped countless traders reach their first million. Mark Minervini had a record-breaking 33,000% return in 5 years, making tens of millions. So I began wondering, what made these three traders so insanely successful? They each had different trading strategies and styles, but I noticed they all had one very important similarity. And it all clicked for me when I ran across this clip from one of Kwalmagi's live streams.
Look at thousands of past leaders over the past decades. How did they move? You will see. Wait, it's the exact same setups over and over again. You need to build that database. Spend at least 1,000 hours. And you probably won't have to work a day in your life, but you need to do this.
All three of these traders had spent thousands of hours studying tens of thousands of stock charts. And if I want to be as successful as them, I have to do the same. There's no way around it. So at the start of this year, I made a plan. Phase 1. Learn as much trading wisdom as possible from the best traders in history. Phase 2, armed with that wisdom, begin my own deep dive into over 10,000 past stock charts. And Phase 3, begin trading the setups that I find and constantly improving my process until I am a millionaire trader. And you might be thinking, that's all great, KJ, but how much have you actually completed in 1 year? Well, I am excited to share with you that I just passed 1,000 hours of studying this year. And let me show you some of the things that I've learned so far. So during phase 1, I studied every single legendary swing trader I could find. While doing that, I documented my best findings here on this YouTube channel. I then also created a Notion page with all of the best free trading resources I could possibly find with help from guys in my Discord. And you can check that out for free in the description. Now, obviously, I will always have more to learn, but armed with all of that knowledge, I felt like I was ready for phase 2. I then began going through the entire NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, and the OTC markets, looking over 10,000 stock charts. I then created a database in Notion in order to store and to study my findings. I also have a free guide on how you can set up one of those for yourself in the description as well. So here are some of the most important lessons that I learned from that study. Stocks have moved in the same patterns since the beginning of the stock market, and these patterns can give us a chance to risk very little while having a chance to make a lot. And if we can master just one of these patterns, we can make millions. So the pattern I've decided to master is the Kwalmagi breakout. Now, I've made a whole video going over this strategy, which you can also find in the description. So after many months of studying, I finally hit my goal of over 1,000 setups in my database. But I began to notice something. While the general pattern was always the same, I noticed that some setups had different characteristics. Let me show you a couple of the things that I found. First, we have the 10-day surfers. They surf the 10-day simple moving average and usually have shorter consolidations and pullbacks. Next, we have the 20-day surfers. These surf the 20-day moving average and have slightly longer consolidations than the 10 days. Then there are the 50-day surfers. These have the longest consolidations and tend to get very, very tight right on the 50-day before breaking out. I also noticed that stocks with a very high average daily range behave differently from stocks with lower daily ranges. Now, these setups look a little crazy, but they can make the biggest moves. And with every single one of these little realizations, I started to have a better edge in the markets. And with over 1,000 documented setups and 10,000 stock charts that I had looked over, I started to have full confidence in my trading strategy. And so that brings us to today. I feel like I am ready for phase 3. So starting in 2023, I will begin my journey of turning $25,000 into $1 million while documenting it here on YouTube for you guys to watch. If I can pull this off, it's going to be legendary. So click subscribe so you don't miss episode 1.